About Canterbury Tales. The Canterbury Tales, Middle English, Tales of Canterbury is a collection of 24 stories that runs to over 17,000 lines written in Middle English by Geoffrey Chaucer between 1387 and 1400. The Canterbury Tales is at once one of the most famous and most frustrating works of literature ever written. Since its composition in late 1300s, critics have continued to mine new riches from its complex ground, and started new arguments about the text and its interpretation. Chaucer's richly detailed text, so Dryden said, was God's plenty, and the rich variety of the tales is partly perhaps the reason for its success. It is both one long narrative, of the pilgrims and their pilgrimage, and an encyclopedia of shorter narratives. It is both one large drama, and a compilation of most literary forms known to medieval literature: romance, fablio, Breton lay, moral fable, verse romance, beast fable, prayer to the Virgin, and so the list goes on. No single literary genre dominates the tales. The tales include romantic adventures, fablios, saints' biographies, animal fables, religious allegories and even a sermon, and range in tone from pious, moralistic tales to lewd and vulgar sexual farces. Often, moreover, the specific tone of the tale is extremely difficult to firmly pin down. This, indeed, is down to one of the key problems of interpreting the tales themselves: voice. How do we ever know who is speaking? Because Chaucer, early in the tales, promises to repeat the exact words and style of each speaker as best he can remember it, there is always a tension between Chaucer and the pilgrim's voice he ventriloquizes as he retells his tale. Even the Chaucer who is a character on the Pilgrim has a distinct and deliberately Chaucerian voice. Is it the merchant's voice and the merchant's opinion, or Chaucer's? Is it Chaucer the character or Chaucer the writer? If it is Chaucer's, are we supposed to take it at face value, or view it ironically? It is for this reason that, throughout this classic note, a conscious effort has been made to refer to the speaker of each tale, the merchant, in the merchant's tale, for example, as the narrator, a catch-all term which represents both of, or either one of, Chaucer and the speaker in question. No one knows for certain when Chaucer began to write the tales. The pilgrimage is usually dated 1387, but that date is subject to much scholarly argument. But it is certain that Chaucer wrote some parts of the tales at different times, and went back and added tales to the melting pot. The Knight's Tale, for example, was almost certainly written earlier than the Canterbury Project as a separate work, and then adapted into the voice of the knight, and the Second Nun's Tale, as well as probably the Monks, probably have a similar compositional history. Chaucer drew from a rich variety of literary sources to create the tales, though his principal debt is likely to Boccaccio's Decameron, in which 10 nobles from Florence, to escape the plague, stay in a country villa and amuse each other by each telling tales. Boccaccio likely had a significant influence on Chaucer. The Knight's Tale was an English version of a tale by Boccaccio, while 6 of Chaucer's tales have possible sources in the Decameron: the Miller's Tale, the Reeves, the Clerks, the Merchants, the Franklins, and the Shipmans. However, Chaucer's Pilgrims to Canterbury form a wider range of society compared to Boccaccio's elite storytellers, allowing for greater differences in tone and substance. The text of the tales itself does not survive complete, but in 10 fragments. See the texts of the tales for further information and specific orders. Since there are no links made between these 10 fragments in most cases, it is extremely difficult to ascertain precisely in which order Chaucer wanted the tales to be read. This classic note corresponds to the order followed in Larry D. Benson's Riverside Chaucer, which is undoubtedly the best edition of Chaucer currently available.